Network Radio.
They said I could never talk good sports radio.
What you talking about, huh?
But I told them,
frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
So I found out.
It's a transmitter. It's a radio for speaking.
So I saw the light talking sports radio.
I have seen the light!
So I thought about starting Rev T Sports Revival.
By George, he's got it. By George, he's got it.
People are saying,
you can see how you have progressed in the show, and I'll tell you what, man, it shows. I mean, it totally shows.
And our callers are saying this, right? Say, what you think about the Rev T Sports Revival?
No. The show seems really good. You seem like you have a lot of fun. This is why I called in, and you both know your sport. So it's always fun talking to people that know their sports. That's why I like to call in whenever I get a chance.
And after I introduce my guests, they say,
for that big intro, I don't know whether to make it my agent or have you call my mom.
Our guests are saying this.
Your broadcast always edifies and we're inspirational. You're unselfish. You don't whitewash anything. You deal with the real problems and issues, whether they popular or unpopular.
And they saying, I'm sounding like this great legend that had a mouthpiece in the radio business.
Man, you talking sports over there like TV Green, man. That's what I like about Rev T Sports Revival.
But most of all, this. Hey, Fred, what you think about the Rev T Sports Revival?
Hey, when you tell me Rev T, if they ears ain't used to great talk radio, they need to adjust. Because at the end of the day, being different ain't being wrong. It's just being who you are. If they scared to be who they are, they probably shouldn't be listening to your show anyway.
Why tweet about it when you could talk about it on the Rev T Sports Revival? Believe that, baby. March with me.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, greens, potatoes.
Mountaintop Network Radio.
To the Sports Revival to fill up your soul with all that good sports talk, man. Good morning to the people. I see y'all tuning in on Facebook Live. Y'all hitting it already. Big brother Diallo Raham, man. Good morning to you, man. Jason Osrod, man. Good morning to you, brother. Ayana Diamond Ferguson. Good morning, pretty lady. We see you tuning in. Big brother Jamal, we see you tuning in with Denise Davis. Appreciate you so much this morning. Kevin Phillips, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Chain. Man, we sitting here live right here, Mountaintop Network Radio. Big brother Anthony White, we see you tuning in. And all our listeners on Mountaintop Network Radio, DMV, we coming out 1,000 strong early in the morning. We appreciate y'all tuning in. It's amazing, y'all. And they think I don't be talking no sports over here. I just love every day when I had the opportunity to prove a whole lot of people wrong. Man, good morning to big brother Julian Cruz, Bay-Ass, man. We see you, man. You and that pretty baby you holding up there on Facebook Live. We appreciate you so much, man, for tuning in. But listen here, though, y'all. Yeah, I got some things I want to talk about and put on the table. I ain't did my talk about in a little bit. Y'all want to do the talk about for a little while or whatever, you know. Talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. I'm just saying, right? Because it's some things that's going on in America and blase before I get into the sport. Hold on, let me see if I get my music, man. Oh, talk about it. Yeah, let's do the talk about it. Y'all want to do talk about it? Come on, let's do talk about it. Let's do talk about it. Though, man, this thing with Meek Mills, man, that Bama Meek Mills, let me tell y'all something. All them damn people showing out there to protest for some damn Meek Mills. Let me tell y'all something, and this is my personal opinion. And I know some of y'all want to spin it as, oh, it's injustice for a black man. They would have never gave a white man that type of time for his thing. And you know what? It's very well some truth to that. It is. Because Charlie Sheen, for all he was cutting up, they ain't crucify him like that. Oh, let's not forget about old Lindsay mess up Lohan. They ain't carry her like that. But at the end of the day, though, my whole thing with this Meek Mill things is how much do Meek Mills really give a damn about you? My whole thing is, you got all them people out there protesting for Meek Mills, do this for Meek Mills and music. How much is Meek Mills really out here putting into the community, other than a rap song, telling somebody to smoke weed, get high, pop Molly, turn up, go to sleep, wake back up, get a freak, have good sex, go back to sleep, turn up, and they out protesting for the band. Let me tell you something. Meek Mills did that to his damn self. Meek Mill's ass is locked up right now, and I said it just like that. Meek Mill's ass is locked up right now because he violated his probation. If you on probation, you don't go into no damn airport and start fighting some damn body over some dumb shit-diggity bop bam stuff. If you on probation, you don't be running around with no gun attached to your hip, no unregistered gun attached to your hip, firearms in your possession, and you know your ass is on probation. So before y'all get out there and start protesting for injustices for Meek Mill, and again, I said, you know, would they carry a white man the same way that they carried Meek Mill? Well, time has told us, yes, they would. But at the end of the day, though, is the time too harsh for Meek Mills? Yes. But did Meek Mills do this to himself? Yes. Did Meek Mills and his team that's around him fail him? Yes. So Meek Mill's ass get what Meek Mill's ass get. And if he got to lay down and take an ass whipping for 2 or 4 years, and y'all, if you from the streets, you know what I mean when I say lay down and take an ass whipping. Then you know what? That's on Meek Mill for him to do. Because I'm going to ask you the question again. If you got locked up today tomorrow, would Meek Mills be out there protesting for your ass? Matter of fact, where was Meek Mill when Trayvon got killed? Huh? Matter of fact, where was Meek Mills when the brother up in Baltimore got killed? Huh? Matter of fact, where's Meek Mills out there telling y'all to make sure these youngsters get out there and go register to vote? Huh? So at the end of the day, I could give a damn about Meek Mills. Now, the injustice that might be thrown at him to a black man, and him as being a black man in the system, yeah, but guess what, though? Man, that happens to black people every damn day in America, in the court system. So Meek Mills ain't no exception. If you gonna go out there and protest for Meek Mills, make sure you go protest for the other 500,000 other African American men that's incarcerated all across the United States. See how that works? Good. But anyway, good morning, man, to the lovely Tuna Smith. We see you, mama, tuning in. Always glad to have a pretty lady listening to the Sports Revival on an early morning. Big brother Deion Dante Brace, good morning, champion. We see you in the atmosphere making things real clear. I'll tell it to the hot. I'll tell it to the cold. You got to come to the Sports Revival to fill up your soul with all that good sports talk and anything that I feel like talking about early in the morning. That was my talk about. I just had to get that off my chest about Meek Mills. Big brother Boone Jose, we see you. Big brother Watson Van Devil, we see you, man. Good morning, champ. Always a pleasure to have y'all tuning in. But you know, that was just my personal opinion on about this whole Meek Mills situation. But anyway, though, what I want to do is I want to take a break. I was going to try to run the new Crystal Adair motivational minutes, but it's not letting me pull up. But let's go ahead and just run this one that we got on hand right now, because I always believe, you know, everybody need a little bit of inspiration in their life. And Crystal Adair, those motivational minutes, we appreciate her so much right here on Mountaintop Network Radio. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we come back, y'all. We're going to talk about these Washington Redskins. What's going on with them? What happened to Shiggity Bop and the Shiggity Bang Sunday against Minnesota? Y'all want to do that? Man, that's good. We sitting in live, y'all, right here in Mountaintop Network Radio, DMV. I'm Tavon Fennell at the Real Rev T. Man, I feel good this morning. Y'all feel good? Let's go, y'all. Let's go. March with me. Ow!
Right, family, we are back at it. This is Crystal Adair with Motivational Minutes, because we stay in it to win it. Amen. Motivational speaker here and author. Go on Amazon.com and check out a copy of my book. It is called Therapy, a memoir novella by Crystal M. Adair. My life story, my testimony, and I promise that it will only bless your life. Family, I do not know who this message is for on today, but I do know that it is for somebody. I also know that I am preaching to myself in as much as I am encouraging someone out there. Family, what I want to say to you on today is that a delay is not always a denial. A delay is not always a denial. Just because God is asking you to wait on something does not mean that God is necessarily telling you no. You see, in our human frame, it is so easy for us to become discouraged or depressed or frustrated when something or the process is not moving along as quickly as we feel that it should. But see, our timing is not God's timing. We may be saying, but God, I am ready now. I want it now. Why can't I have it now? And God is saying right back to you, not right now. You see, his answer is not always no. Sometimes he's just saying, not right now. Sometimes God needs to perfect something in you. He needs to get something right in you before he answers this prayer and gives you whatever this blessing may be. The other times, God may be saying, I have something better for you, but I need for you to hold on. I need for you to exercise some faith. I need for you to believe that I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. God is not always telling you no when you're waiting on a prayer to be answered. Sometimes he's simply just saying, not right now, or I have something better. But you gotta let God work that thing out in your favor, and you gotta let him work some things out in you so you can be truly ready to receive that glorious blessing. This is Crystal M. Adair with Motivational Minutes. I love you, family. Please make sure you go out and get a copy of my book, Therapy, a memoir novella by Crystal M. Adair, is right there on Amazon.com. And as always, a shout out to the awesome Mountaintop Network Radio, where the people's voice and these motivational minutes can be heard.
Mountaintop Network Radio.
Yeah, we live, y'all, right on the Mountaintop Network Radio. DMV, I'm Teron Fidel at the Real Red Sea. I'm so glad to be here with you people. And I want y'all to believe that what I'm about to tell y'all, and it light your mind about the red sea. Either you can believe it or you can't believe it. Y'all ready? Let's go, y'all. Man, good morning, man. Ania Randall, Gregory, we see you, cuzzo, tuning in. Love you so much. And Big Brother Jason Hester, man, always a pleasure to have you tuning in. Big Brother Chris Young, we see you. What's up, champion? Good morning to you. Always appreciate you, man. And then Big Brother Justin Newman, man, good morning to you, man. HTCR, y'all all superstars in my books. But let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it, what the T.I. is, what is really with how the shidiggity bop, all this shidiggity bang that just got all y'all miscombobulated about the Redskins that's making some of y'all ears rings. I'm here to tell you that after the Washington Redskins lost to the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday, I'm here to tell you that the Washington Redskins, they can and they will go to New Orleans and beat the Saints. That's the first business that I want to get out. Got to get out the way. So we can ride off of that. And I always want to hear y'all thoughts and y'all comments. 703-763-4979 is the number. But I want to answer a question, though, before I really get into my breakdown of this Minnesota Vikings versus the Washington Redskins. 38-30 was the final score, with Minnesota coming away with the win. Before I get into that, I was asked on Twitter by AB_good82, and good morning to you, Champ. I appreciate you so much. He asked me, what do I feel about Kirk Cousins and Jay Gruden? Well, I want y'all to brace yourselves for this one, because I'm really about to tell it how T.I. is. And I want to say good morning to the lovely Ayanna Skinhead Jackson. Good morning to you, pretty lady. And Big Brother Richard from the Wilson Tribe, y'all Facebook group. Y'all make sure y'all go give him a follow. He tuning in this morning with us here on Facebook Live. 703-763-4979 is the number. If you want to call, tune in, put your thoughts out there, lay your burdens down by the riverside. Man, that's what we do here on the Sports Revival. But anyway, I want to answer A.B. Good's question about what do I feel about Kirk Cousins and Jay Gruden. Well, brother AB_good82, let me tell you this if you listening right now. The way I feel about Kirk Cousins and Jay Gruden as a team, I believe that they are still a work in progress. I believe that them being the quarterback and Gruden being the coach, I believe that there is hope for tomorrow. But it's a couple of things around Kirk Cousins and Jay Gruden that have to change in order for both of them to go to the next level with each other. Jay Gruden, again, being the coach of the Redskins, Kirk Cousins being the quarterback. We talking about they need help at wide receiver. You talking about you need a balanced run game and a true 20 carry every 16 games, there's 17 games plus the playoffs that they got to play type running back. That's not injury prone. No knock on Rob Kelly, but it is what it is. But now if you ask me, okay, Rev, what do you think about Kirk Cousins as an individual? Man, let me tell you something. From where Kirk Cousins started off at, where we used to have to cringe our teeth because we knew that Kirk Cousins might go out there and throw an interception. making dumb reads to where that man is now. Let's talk about it. The first quarter of this Minnesota Viking game, Kirk Cousins was 10 for 10. And a lot of you Redskins fans, y'all was on social media going crazy, losing your mind. Kirk Cousins, yeah, when he threw the touchdown, the 1 yard to the 1 yard line pass, the Mo Hurst deep pass. Y'all lost y'all mind. Kirk Cousins. But as soon as the tide started to turn and Kirk Cousins threw an interception, then you saw the bashing of Kirk Cousins started happening, and the game wasn't even over. And I want to put this out to you. What team in the NFL goes out and put 30 points with their offense and lose a football game? What's the likelihood of that's happening in today's NFL? Not too much. But you have a quarterback that doesn't have a top wide receiver, a go-to count-on-me type receiver in this offense. You got a quarterback playing behind the offensive line. I don't give a damn if who started, all started, replacements, substitution, the regular 5 starters. When you got a quarterback sitting there throwing touchdowns with a makeshift broke down but broke up offensive line, when you got a quarterback out there putting 30 points up without a true number 1 running back, you can argue with me about do he deserve the $24, $25 million all day long for this year. But at the end of the day, if that don't tell a monkey or a monkey's ass that Kirk Cousins is an elite quarterback in the NFL, then you stuck on Stoop. And I'm not saying that, Kirk Cousins is, we losing, Kirk. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, when you look at the landscape of the NFL, when you look at quarterbacks that's possibly available or will be available the upcoming after this season, you compare them to Kirk Cousins, and you tell me what you come up with. Now you know. I know a lot of y'all saying, well, Keenum came in here and made himself look like a superstar. Well, he didn't do that to Kirk Cousins. He did that to the defense. Jerry Sutton say, Rev, what's up with our hurry-up 2-minute offense? We down 2 scores halfway in the 4th quarter, and we go back to the huddle. Kirk has to have the green light to go for it in crunch time. And that's very well true, Jerry, and I appreciate your comment, and you're correct on that. And I've said this time again, week in and week out, Kirk Cousins has to hold his balls and go run this offense. I always say, when they was on 4th and 1, why would you even go run the ball to Chris Thompson and you like 4th and 10 or whatever? You on 4 and a hard 2, not no short 2, not no short 1, but a hard 2. That if you really looked at it, they could have said 2.5, maybe close to 3 yards. A lot of that is, here's the flip side of it. A lot of that is Jay Gruden. And it leads me to say, okay, where am I at with Jay Gruden on a personal level, as far as my thinking of him being the coach of the Washington Redskins? Well, my thing with Jay Gruden is this. He didn't really run the ball with Cincinnati as an offensive coordinator. I said this before. So why would we expect him to run the football now with the Washington Redskins? We see clear as day Sean McVay wasn't the person that was holding the Washington Redskins back from the run. Because that offense that Sean McVay is running with the Los Angeles Rams is the same offense that the Washington Redskins was running, basically. Same scheme, different players. But one thing Sean McVay is doing as an offensive coordinator, he's running the ball a hell of a lot. And it was always a question when Sean McVay was the offensive coordinator here, Jay Gruden, you as still being the head coach, you know, who was really saying, we not going to run the ball, we going to abandon the run and go and get past Happy? Well, in my eyes, it's Jay Gruden. And until Jay Gruden can fix this in his mind, that one, I need to have a true running back for this Washington Redskins team. And that's not knocking Chris Thompson. That's not knocking Rob Kelly. That's not knocking Samaje Perine. But at the end of the day, though, if I have a true running back, then maybe I can really let this offensive game plan that I have flourish. Good morning to the lovely Nikki Carter. We see you, mama, tuning in. Appreciate and love you so much. Good morning to you, sweetheart. But, you know, at the end of the day, when you look at this scenario when it comes to Gruden and his Washington Redskins offense, a lot of times we can say some of it is Kurt's fault because Kurt get the play call in, Kurt lined up on the line of scrimmage, and he see things that we don't even see. And if they telling him to pass, and he see like there's no hope for them to pass, Kirk Cousins got an audible out of it and call a run. Did I say too much? I did. I did say too much. No, I didn't say too much. I'm just telling it like a T.I. is. But what we going to do is, I had to answer that question. Man, for AB Good 82 on Twitter. He asked me what I thought about Kirk Cousins and Jay Gruden as a whole. And I even went further and broke it down individually. But you want to talk about this game with Minnesota, the Washington Redskins. You know, the defense, they got exposed in the first half. You know, let's really talk about this. The secondary was exposed, and after the game, DJ Swearinger came out that they weren't prepared, that they had a sucky practice on Friday. Well, I mean, it might be some truth to that, the why they came out flat like they did on Sunday against the Vikings. But at the end of the day, when you look at this, though, and you look at the history of the Washington Redskins, DJ Swearinger, if you felt like the practice wasn't good on Friday, then you know what? You should have did like the old heads, like the Doc Walkers, like the Daryl Grants, like the Clint Diddiers, like the Daryl Greens, like the Alvin Waltons, like the Charles Manns, like the Dave Butts, and said, you know what? We ain't going nowhere until we get this right. Coaches, y'all can go ahead inside, but we need to stay out here just a little while longer to make sure that everything is all right. And I'm not knocking DJ Swearinger. I'm not knocking Josh Norman and their skill. I'm not knocking Rashad Breeland. Where Mike Underwood at? Because I know he probably got a mouthful to say about Rashad Breeland. But at the end of the day, though, when you look at it, and you look at the scenario of the game, they exposed the secondary early in the game. And really the Redskins didn't respond to how to stop Minnesota Vikings in that earlier Arsenal attack that they had with Keenan and those wide receivers. They figured out how to stop it about the second half of the third quarter, all the way up until the fourth quarter. Then they held their own. Wilson Traub says, Jay Gruden is an average at best with play calling. I believe that he is good in terms of player morale and being a player's coach. Gruden needs a great defensive coordinator beside him. Gruden by himself is not enough. And I appreciate you, Richard, from the Wilson Trial for your comments. And that very well may be true. But at the end of the day, though, if you ask yourself, is this defense better than the defense that we had last year? Of course it is. But it wasn't the same defense that we saw play against the Seattle Seahawks a couple of weeks back. They came out flat and they got beat. I mean, let's talk about it and be honest with ourselves with it. You know, the Redskins didn't really hurt themselves. As a team, the defense let them down, and they allowed Minnesota to come out there and put them points on the board. I mean, it's nothing wrong. We don't have to shy away from it. You talking about Thielen had 8 receptions for 166 yards, 1 touchdown. Diggs, 4 receptions. He come home from Gaithersburg, Maryland, and you know he feeling like Hollywood. 4 receptions, 78 yards, 1 touchdown, 51 yards long. You know, you just look at the scenario, of this thing. 4 touchdowns to 4 different players. He exposed the secondary. They didn't have but 1 rushing touchdown, and for the most part, the run side of our defense, they kept Lamar Murray at bay. 17 carries, 68 yards. You know, but overall, they still gave up almost 100 yards to the Minnesota Vikings. Why? Because the Vikings ran the ball. Murray had 17 carries. McKinnon had 10. Keenum had 3 carries. Ham had 1. You total that and you look at the Redskins, what we got from them. 9 carries for P. Ryan for 35 yards. Chris Thompson, 9 for 26. Rob Kellywell, after he took 2 or 3 hits, he was done for the day. Does that surprise you? Because it doesn't surprise me. So, you know, at the end of the day, when you look at the scenario, the first reason why the Washington Redskins lost the game was because of the secondary. The secondary got exposed, and I know a lot of y'all are hooked on the Washington Redskins and what they doing as far as the defense, and they felt good. But at the end of the day, though, the weaknesses of the Washington Redskins secondary was exposed. Good morning to the lovely Ashi Falami. We see you, mama, tuning in. Good morning to you, Ashi. Good morning. Brian Harnett say, be nice to see some trick plays when we're behind. Need a win like that fake punt pass play, by way last year. Jay's math scenes bad few points when they should or gone for 2 behind 3 scores and not letting 3 or short yards. I agree with you, Brian. I understand exactly where you're coming from. And at the end of the day, Jay Gruden, you know, one thing I could say about this Washington Redskins team is that when it came down to it and you look at the scenario of the thing, you know, he should have trusted Rose's foot a little bit more. And it would have made the game a little bit closer instead of going on some of those 4th and 1s and 4th and 2s and you in field goal range. How can you trust the kicker to go out there and kick a 53, 55-yard field goal kick in crunch time when the game on the line and you trying to put points on the board in the 4th quarter that you didn't trust his foot in the 2nd, you didn't trust his foot in the 3rd, but now you're going to say, oh, we got a kicker now and we're going to trust him late in the 4th quarter when we still down by 11 points. Can you imagine on those 4th downs when they was in field goal range, if they would have put 6 points up on the boards, would they be in so much trouble late in the 4th quarter against the Minnesota Vikings? No. That's not Kirk Cousins' call. That's Jay Gruden's call. But hold up, wait a minute. If we're going to talk about the offense and really get into it and get in depth with what's going on with the offense, let's talk about this wide receiver core. You know, I could sit and hawk on the defense all day long. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what happened. Josh Norman was the leading tackle, 7 tackles. Zach Brown, 5. Stacy McGee, DJ Swearinger led with 4 and 3 tackles respectively. And then the rest they got in where they could get in. I mean, you know, let's talk about this. But at the end of the day, though, guess what didn't happen with that Washington Redskins in the defense? They didn't apply enough pressure on Keenum. And I love Ryan Kerrigan, but Ryan Kerrigan got to seal the deal up. You got to seal the deal. You can't keep getting that close to the quarterback and you don't get him. In other words, if it's not Ryan Kerrigan, then listen here, Tom Mazzulla and company, they need to go ahead and what's the coach name, the defense coordinator, whatever that Bama name is. They need to go ahead, okay, and say, Manusky, okay, he need to go ahead and say, okay, Ryan Kerrigan is getting there. We need to bring somebody else behind him to help him close that deal out. Redskins' defensive pass rush is suspect. That's all I can say. Yeah, Wilson Tribe, you right about that. I'll go ahead and get Zach Brand that contract now. Anything he want. And I just want y'all to know, y'all have seen the last of Will Compton as a Washington Redskin. Could I tell y'all that? Did I say that? I just told y'all that. Mark my words on that. But let's talk about these wide receivers, though. Hold on, let me have a Wendy Williams moment. Let's talk about these wide receivers, man. You know, for the most part, everybody got excited when they saw Mo Harris in the game. We all been asking for him. Mo Harris finished the game with 2 receptions for 50 yards. You can't get a person going in a game like that with a big play, and then you don't go back to him constantly. Now, was that Kirk Cousins' fault? Some of it could have been Kirk Cousins' fault, but that's also Coach Jay Gruden's fault. Who the hot receiver is. Who's not the hot receiver. I mean, Crowder had 4 receptions for 76 yards, but if you got a youngster like Mo Harris out there trying to do his thing and get his rocks off, feed him the ball. He's showing you I'm ready. The NFL, my name is Maurice Harris, and I'm here. Throw me the ball, Kirk Cousins. Matter of fact, Jay Gruden make play calls so that Kirk Cousins will know that I'm the number 1 wide receiver. So the defense will try to respect me. Or if they don't, if they not respecting me, throw me the damn football. I'll make them respect me. That's a little bit of Kirk Cousins. That's a little bit of Jay Gruden. But at the end of the day, though, too, you know, you can talk about some of these passes that Doxson dropped that could have been a touchdown. You talk about the pass that he threw to Vernon Davis that could have been a touchdown. That was dropped. Not overthrown, not underthrown, but right there in the hands of the wide receiver, and they dropped. I even saw a play where I'm not sure was it Davis or was it Doxson. They just gave up on the play. If I'm correct, when I looked at that replay of the game, I think it was Davis. It was on the cutback, and Kirk Cousins kind of threw it underneath under, and you sitting there looking, you looked at Vernon Davis give up on the play. Michael Bowman say, 91, he talking about Ryan Curran needs to get more pass rush moves and not just a hard rush to the outside every play. Exactly, Michael Bowman. I appreciate your comments. But at the end of the day, though, you know, if Manusky and Tom Mazzulla see this thing going on with Ryan Kerrigan, then listen here. They're going to have to go ahead and make some type of adjustments to get him some help on the side that he's doing. Hey, Michael Bowman, you hit that on the nose. One move that he has. You don't never see him spin too much. You just see him straight up and try to get him from the outside. Hey, Mike Bowman, that was a good observation right there. Wilson Tribe say Cousins only looks at Reed when healthy or Crowder. People be jive open all the time. And you know what, Wilson Tribe? Kirk Cousins even admitted it was a seam route that Josh Doxson was open that he missed him, and he wished he could get it back. But on the flip side of that, not to defend Kirk Cousins, Richard from the Wilson Tribe, and we appreciate your comment. But at the end of the day, though, not to defend Kirk Cousins, but to defend all quarterbacks. And man, all quarterbacks miss wide receivers that's be open. It happens every day, man. So it is. Kirk Cousins is not an exception to that. Jerry Sutton say, preach, brother. Rev teams not know now our offense pass sideline to sideline and don't go deep that much. Go for exactly. And when they attack them deep, Jerry Sutton, the Washington Redskins become a threat. And understand this, when you start throwing the ball down the field or versus throwing it the sideline to sideline, guess what it does for your offense? Guess what it does for your run game? It opens it up. It opens the run game up because it makes the defense, instead of putting 5 in the box or 5 in the box or 6 in the box, okay, they gonna have to at least drop the 5, the 5th, and the 6th man of the defense. Most likely is the linebackers back in the coverage. Well, what does that do? That allows them, if they don't have the line bunched up, or if they don't have the linebackers playing in the box and they got them reacting to the pass because they scared you going to go deep or go over the middle, it allows the running back to run up the A gap or B gap, or they could go run stretch plays to the outside all day long with no problem. 3-4 yards easy. So, you know, at the end of the day, this Washington Redskins, these wide receivers, they got to help Kirk Cousins out a little bit more catching the ball. And I'm not saying Kirk Cousins out there throwing perfect pass, because me, a lot of times, I thought in this game against Minnesota, they didn't so much sack Kirk Cousins, okay? They didn't sack him, but they kept enough pressure on him. And if you go back and you look at the film of the game, a lot of times Kirk Cousins was getting hit on his elbow, if you wondering about some of those passes that looked a little bit wobbly that Kirk Cousins was throwing. The ball wasn't necessarily getting tipped. I think he had like 1 tip ball or so in this game, maybe 2. But a lot of those, if you go look at the pocket, when the pocket was collapsing on Kirk Cousins, you can see a lot of times they was tapping that man elbow off the release. And it could have came back to haunt us if they really would have got to him releasing that ball like that. But hold up, I'm not finished, y'all. I told y'all I was going to break this thing down with the Washington Redskins and the Seattle Seahawks. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it for what it is. That Bama Brandon Scherff wasn't ready to come back and play no damn football. He really wasn't. They beat him all day long. And once they knew they could beat him, guess what they did? They went as far as sending double pressure right up the gap where Brandon Scherff was lined up at. Yeah. And like I said, you know, Kirk Cousins, him throwing that ball, his elbow was nicked a couple of times. Ain't that Trent Williams side, the block, the cover Kirk Cousins throwing hand? Ain't these people coming back off of injuries, trying to fight through injuries? But Brandon Scherff wasn't ready to play. And if you ask me who I thought was the better center for the Washington Redskins, I'm going to say Chris Long. They do better with the run. I think he do better with the pass protection. In my eyes, I put Laval out on the guard position somewhere. One of the tackles. That's just my personal opinion. But listen here, though, I need to take a break real quick. I've been talking for a minute, y'all. We're going to take a break. When we come back, 703-763-4979 is the number you want to call in. Talk a little bit of sports, put your little 2 cents in it. We live, y'all, right here on Mount Top. I know they make you work hard. I know they make you work hard. I'm a Redskins man. We here live, Mount Top. We be right back, y'all. Let's go.
Specialized custom design t-shirts. Our shirts range from infants to adult 5X. We make shirts for groups, churches, organizations, and we will do personalized shirts of your favorite sports team. If you mention the Rev T Sports Revival or Mountaintop Network Radio, you would get a 10% discount off your first order. You can reach us on Facebook at Rucker Apparel. You can email us at ruckerapparel@gmail.com, or you can even give us a call at 202-577-5903. Get your custom t-shirt.
Mountaintop Network Radio.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Washington metropolitan area, give me a call, 240-356-3580. When you do, mention Mountaintop Network Radio and receive a free CMA on your current home. Once again, this is Maurice Wood with Ghost and Real Estate. Give me a call today, 240-356-3580. Real estate is a relationship business. Let's build one.
Mountaintop Network Radio.
Crystal M. Adair on Mountaintop Network Radio, where the people's voice can be heard. I'm a motivational speaker and an author of the newly released Therapy, a memoir novella by Crystal M. Adair. Go click on Amazon right now. Get your 5-star copy with great reviews. I promise you, it's a book that will change your life. Again, Crystal M. Adair with Mountaintop Network Radio. Tune in again for my motivational minutes.
Mountaintop Network Radio.
This is Stephen Askins, host of the Inside Blitz. You can catch me Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. right here on Mountaintop Network Radio DMV. And we will break down the Thursday night game, talk about the Sunday games, give you injury and fantasy pointers. So tune in Sunday mornings, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on Mountaintop Network Radio DMV.
Mountaintop Network Radio.
Seaburston Nation, I tell it to the young, I tell it to the old. You got to let that burgundy go fill up your soul. Here we stand, 2017, draft day. What happened on? Yeah, we now y'all right here, Mountaintop Network Radio. I'm Savon Flair at the ULT. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here with you. We have y'all talking about this. Redskins lost 2 weeks on the Vikings. The highs, the lows, the insides, the outs. Ain't no line about guys, y'all. Right here, Mountaintop Network Radio TV, where the people's voice can be heard. 703-763-4979 is the number. Michael Bowman says, can we trust P. Ryan to not fumble? Will Fat Rob stay healthy? And was it a mistake cutting Mac Brown? I know they said his blocking was an issue, but he ran hard when he got in there a few times. Michael Bowman, again, man, I guess I need to hold the plate for you, Champ, because you preaching right now. And I want to say this. Can we trust P. Ryan not to fumble the ball? Yes and no. But at this point, though, you know, and I hate to be bringing this up, but, you know, Matt Jones had the same issues, and he was a good running back, and they let him go. Right? Mac Brown, he was a good running back, and they let him go. Why? Because they believe in Rob Kelly. Well, if you've been listening to the Sports Revival, I said this from day one, even before training camp got started. I used to sit on his airwaves and I used to say, Rob Kelly is a decent running back, but you can't trust him for 16 games. Because if you wonder why that second half of the season, when Rob Kelly got the nod over Matt Jones to become the starting running back for the Washington Redskins, we saw Rob Kelly perform for about 2 games. And then for the rest of the 6 or 8 games that he started as a running back for the Washington Redskins, guess what? He was nowhere to be found. And what people didn't mask and tell you the truth about was, guess what? Fat Rob was fighting a lot of nagging little injuries. And once I heard that, once that was brought to my attention, that just already told me, if you fighting little nagging injuries now, that's stopping you from performing at a high level, them trying to ride your back and say you can carry the load for 16 games, that wasn't going to be the answer. I don't give a damn how much weight you went out there and lost. I don't give a fuck for reasons or whatever that you said, okay, I went out there and lift weights. I could give a rah-rah about that. But at the end of the day, though, Rob Kelly is not the answer for the Washington Redskins as being a full-time running back. And should they have cut Mack Brown? No. But they did it, though, to make space, roster space for other players coming off of injury. Okay? And the thing with this P. Ryan, to answer that all up in a nutshell for you, you can't trust P. Ryan with the football. But I saw one thing that might help P. Ryan get going a little bit. Let him feel them kickoff returns to get him going. Let him feel some of them punt returns to get him going. And then put him in the game and let him run the football. I think that might try to help him get over the hump. Jerry Sutton say, that's a problem across the board with these injuries. Breeden was still hurt as well. That's on coach to play who's healthy, not because of their name, and they can't move lateral on the field. Next man up and go for it. And the team with these young guns. And Jerry, and man, that's a good point that you brought up there. And that's what I wanted to say when it came to this secondary. If Breeden was hurt, okay, and my whole thing is, I know they wanted to get D'Angelo Hall going again, but you brought this man who been laid down by the riverside for umpteen up months, and he played the whole 4 quarters of a game the following week and fielded punt returns, and you throw him right back out there to the Wolves again the next week, saying everything okay, and he went right out there and injured himself again. That's another person that I'm going to tell y'all, and another lot of y'all don't want to hear. But you know what? We done probably seen the last days of D'Angelo Hall when it comes to the Washington Redskins being a player. Good morning to my brother for life, Sean Sanderson, one of the prize of Wilson, man. That brother told me how to become a champion, how to go win championships. Always appreciate him. Him and a few other brothers helped me along the way, man. I was a young pup, man, in the football game in Wilson. I appreciate Sean Sanderson, man. Good brother there, man. That's a small dude, man, with a whole lot of heart, man. He'll knock a giant down with his eyes closed. That's how mighty strong he is. I love you, brother for life, man. Wilson Tigers. But at the end of the day, though, you know, when it comes down to it, you got to lean on some of these young bucks. And I'm going to tell you somebody else I was surprised that they didn't try to really get involved into the game with the Washington Redskins. We talking about Sprinkle, man. There's no way on time in and time out that you can have Sprinkle on this active roster and not get this young boy going. There's no way in the world, especially with Jordan Reed being hurt, especially with now Pauls being on shaky ground. And that's another person that you might see his days numbers being the Washington Redskins. Either he getting injured or he getting concussed, week in and week out. Sorry. And I know some of y'all Niles Pauls lovers hold over some of the RG3, please, whatever. But at the end of the day, though, in order for the Washington Redskins to get better, some of these people, man, they going to have to be removed from this Washington Redskins offense and defense in order to allow this Washington Redskins team to ascend to a whole nother level. You know, we could talk about Gruden, but a lot of this got to come on too, you know, the personnel that they giving Gruden. And if they giving Gruden all these young pups and he just sitting there, got them inactive on game day, guess what? How you expect them to learn right now? And I want to put something else out there. If you ask me right now, is Jay Gruden's job is secure right now? Hell no. I believe at some point, you know, they going to start looking at Jay Gruden because guess what? Kirk Cousins, listen here, man. Kirk Cousins can stay or Kirk Cousins can go. But Gruden can still be here. Even if listen here, if Kirk Cousins stay, Gruden can stay. Or they can say, you know what? We're going to make Kirk go learn from another offensive coordinator for the third umpteenth time after so many years. So if Cousins stay, then Gruden most likely to stay. But if Cousins go, man, Gruden, man, is suspect in my eyes. It's suspect. Good morning to Big Brother Claude, Scoop Neville, man, Senior. That's my brother right there. Another one of my brothers, man. Superstars, man. Appreciate and love you so much, man. You and your family, beautiful family, man. Appreciate you, man. I see you out there doing your thing, Shane. Holding it down. Appreciate you so much. Big brother Jimmy Waters, man. Good morning to you, champion. Good morning to you. But you know, at the end of the day, when you look at the scenario with the Washington Redskins and it's how this all panned out with Minnesota, you know, I'll leave it like this. 4 factors that killed the Washington Redskins in this game. First one being the secondary. Okay. 2 in my eyes is that interception that Kirk Cousins threw in the second quarter. That allowed them to go out there and put 14 points up on the board going into halftime. 3, you gotta blame. You gotta put some blame on this defensive line not being able to get to Keenan and sack him and put pressure on him and disrupt what he was trying to do. But 4th, you got to blame Brandon Scherff. You got to blame Brandon Scherff because at the end of the day, you take away those plays where they was all in Kirk Cousins' face because Brandon Scherff, it looked like to me he just gave up on some of the plays. Like, hell, he got past me to hell. I'm done. Those are my 4 factors and that really stood out to me why the Washington Redskins lost the football game. And I know some of y'all saying, oh, well, Rev, you forgot about us not running the ball. Oh, Rev, I know you saying you forgot about these wide receivers not catching the ball. Man, we just said this stuff week in and week out. So at the end of the day, us not being able to run the ball like we supposed to or have a true running back to run the ball or us having wide receivers that's not catching the ball or we having the number 1 true wide receiver, none of this should be amazed by you. So you going into the game thinking, that if we lose the game, it's the wide receiver's fault, it's the running back fault. Man, we've been saying this since week 1, even in victory. And at the end of the day, Jerry Sutton say, great point. The Redskins have to take advantage of mismatch on the field, and that comes with play calling to your strength. Jeremy Sprinkle is a mismatch for linebackers and safeties. Of course. Why not use the young pup? If you've seen footage of Jeremy Sprinkle, man, he remind you of Fred Davis out there catching the ball, pass blocking, run blocking. I always say, if you give a person the opportunity, they either gonna make the best of it or they just gonna stink the joint up the first time around. Maybe the second time around, all the jitters get out their stomach and everything and they go out there and perform. But it's all about opportunity. And you gotta be able to say, at some point, we gonna go out there and we gonna let these young boys kind of carry this team and we gonna give some of our veterans some rest going down this stretch into these next 7, 8 games that we got to play when it comes to the Washington Redskins. 6 or 7 games that need to be played. Use these youngers for what they worth. I always talk about the now and the later theory. Well, guess what? They couldn't use them now. They couldn't use them now in the offense. But later is here. So they need to use them in the later half of the season now. Did that sound right? Yeah, that was a Rev T theory. But anyway, though, y'all, we had a good show for the people. I'll tell it to the hot. I'll tell it to the cold. You got to come to the sports about to pick up your show. I'm Jamal Chanel.